Yo, what up? This is Hakeem, Black and Nobel. Y'all know what it is. Keep your ears and eyes open for Philadelphia Exposed. And remember, we ship to prisons.com. That's what it is. Send y'all people's books to the prisons. Come right here to do it. And make sure y'all pick up Philadelphia Exposed, #1 DVD in the area. Peace.
It is a universal brotherhood, and so we can communicate as Freemasons universally with symbols and allegory.
This is Chief Tammany right here who signed this who actually gave William Penn the treaty. And if you take a look at his hands, you'll see that he's basically in a receptive mode, or / giving mode. You know what I mean? Now what's interesting, we got a good quiet break. What's interesting on this one is when you go back to like 1737 it was, you had something called the walk-in purchase. And the walk-in purchase is when the William Penn family actually stole the land from the Native Americans, or Chief Tammany people. Alright? And then exactly like 100 years later, that's when we got the Trail of Tears, when they marched all of the Native Americans out their land. But the walking purchase was again a precursor to the Trail of Tears 100 years in advance, and it all started right here in Philadelphia first with the whole stripping of the Native American heritage right here. Peace. This is Chief Tammany who signed the treaty with William Penn. Notice the eagle and standing on the turtle, which represents Turtle Island. And notice the 5-pointed star on the turtle. There we go, the 5-pointed star on the turtle. Alright. Notice he has his hands like in a receiving or giving position. Hands, palms outward. The eagle feathers are up. This is on Front and Market, right here by the Delaware River. Which makes this the earth plane. Now as you on Market Street, and that is the beginning, notice you still can see the river in the background behind the expressway, which is the Delaware River. As you see Chief Tammany down here as the foundation on Market Street, like I said, he represents the earth plane in Kabbalah. That's Malkuth. Alright? And when you come up Market Street, and you look straight down Market Street, you notice City Hall in the middle, which we'll talk about. It takes you straight there to City Hall, straight dead in the middle of Market Street. Bing! That blocks Market Street because that is the 6th Sephiroth. That's the sun. That's in the middle, which we will show you when we get up that way. Alright, Philadelphia is actually based off the Kabbalistic design of the Tree of Life at the bottom, which is Malkuth. You have Chief Tammany right here. Going straight up in the middle, you run directly into Independence Hall, which is the 9th Sephiroth, called the Foundation in Kabbalah. This is also the foundation of the United States of America, because you have the Constitution Center here and the Independence Hall. Then right behind that to the left you have Washington Square, which is actually Congo Square. Then you have Franklin Square. Then in the middle again you have City Hall, which is the 6th Sephiroth, which is the sun, which you have the zodiac here. And Philadelphia is a Leo, which is represented by the sun. Alright, then you have Rittenhouse Square. Then you have Logan Square. You have the University of Pennsylvania Archaeology Department. all right, which is probably the oldest in the nation, built in the late 1800s. Then you have the Art Museum to the right, which is a pyramid, which is the Sun's Mound, all right. And then you have 30th Street Station at the very top of Market Street, which all the commerce comes in, dealing with mail, dealing with the trains. And if you know now, the Postal Service actually moved, and the IRS occupies the Crown Chakra now. They occupy 30th Street Station, which is a portal. You see mad trains going through there. All right, so that's a portal, 30th Street Station. The IRS now occupies what is now called the Crown, because in Kabbalah, this particular aspect is called the Crown. All right, so this is the Philadelphia layout of the city. These are actual landmarks of the city that corresponds to the Kabbalistic design of the Tree of Life. Now this is your Malkuth energy. This is your Yeset energy. This is the Independence Center is here. Alright. So you see this big mall, this layout area. And then you would come around and then you would get Independence Hall right there. Alright. So right across from Independence Hall, you will have the Independence Visitor Center. Alright? So you have all of this energy right here. And truth be told, it's right behind here that the Federal Reserve is back up in there, tapping into an ancient grid. Alright? So you will have Congress should make no law respecting an establishment of religion, prohibiting the free exercise thereof, or abridging the freedom of speech or of the press, the right of the people peaceably to assemble and petition government for redress of grievances. Now what's interesting is you have Independence Hall over here where the Liberty Bell is supposed to be, right? Alright, you got basically the Constitution Center over here, Federal Reserve in the back sucking off that energy, and now you have the new Jewish museum that's going right here. We'll take a look at that statue. And this is the same energy they're making the American that Reform Judaism, the Jewish Renewal Movement, and Reconstruction Judaism. All of this energy is right here, right across from Independence Hall, all from the Constitution Center. Alright, this is at 5th and Market. But look at the statue, look at the hands of the woman. What's that about? We'll count the stars later. Notice she got the soft cap on her head. We're going to get into that soft cap too. But look at this. The eagle, the bird, killing the serpent. Suppression of the serpent order. Do they know what time it is? See, notice on this side, you see the broken reef, the column. And that's very symbolic when you're dealing with masonry. That broken column that's right there. And we're going to get into the Freemasonic energy of this place as well. This is the security. Look at this. This site, this is the Jewish museum they building. This site is protected protected by executive service. Check that out. The double-headed eagle, honor, integrity, and justice with the triangle. We know the double-headed eagle is actually Masonic for the 32nd and 33. Alright? And this is the security service that's actually enforcing, executive, enforcing the protection of this Jewish museum. You tell me what it is. This is perhaps where the most pertinent information is held here. This is the Benjamin Franklin. This is the Philosophical Society. Notice the keystone above his head. Alright, the keystone is very significant in Pennsylvania because Pennsylvania is the keystone state. And the keystone comes inside of, is introduced in the 4th degree of the York Rite Freemasonry. Look at the keystone up there. When we look at this building behind me, over the archway, there's another keystone. Alright? So the keystone is very significant. Now this is Admiral Berry. Back it up. This is Admiral Berry. Right behind Independence Hall, as you can see. That Independence Hall, that's where the Liberty Bell is at. And what he's pointing to is coming over here into this particular corner. Alright? Which will get us into Washington Square, aka Congo Square. And we're going to go take a look at that because that's where the Masonic history really goes down in. Also, Berry is also the founder, or they say the father of the Navy. Alright, so he's very important when you understand the history of gridding the earth. The Navy has that responsibility. Like I said, Berry's back here on those steps that you can't see. This is actually where Nicolas Cage, filming the movie, he runs out from the Independence Hall and he runs through this right here, which is Washington Square.
Leave me a fifth and chestnut, heading your way.
Washington Square, which is infamously known for so-called Freemason George Washington. The actual name of the square is actually Congo Square. This was where the Africans came, or the original people, the native people came to this particular square and did their ritual. If you notice, before you even enter the square, you have the pillar here, right? Which would be, if you're coming into the porch, that would be your left pillar, so that could be Boaz. Then you have the pillar over here. If you're coming in, this will be the pillar to your right. This will actually be Yakin, or what they call Jakin. So in strength, he will establish. So as soon as you come into the park, this is Freemasonry when you come in. This is actually the park where Nicolas Cage ran through. Like if you turn around and you see that. Remember when Nicolas Cage had left in National Treasure, when Nicolas Cage had actually left Independence Hall, he ran through this. With this particular energy right here, we're going to talk about who needs to be resurrected at this particular point. Because it's inside of this square, there's probably one of the most intense Masonic symbolism that you're ever going to see here. let's go over here. Here we are in Washington Square, Philadelphia, which is Congo Square. That's the correct name for this particular place, Congo Square. All right, now we're gonna go into a little something. You will see freedom is a light for which many have died in darkness. Now, understand that his pose is a Masonic pose. You got the broken column, which you get into the 3rd degree of Freemasonry. All right, you have him with this staff, which I'm gonna get into and talk about the staff, because you get that as you start to go through the Royal Arch of York Rite Freemasonry. Now check this. It says, in unmarked graves, right? You come closer to get my voice. In unmarked graves, within this square lies thousands of unknown, which is the X, are black soldiers of Washington's army who died of wounds and sickness during this Revolutionary War. Now on this side it says, the independence and liberty you possesses are the work of joint councils and joint efforts of common dangers, suffering, and success. This was his farewell address, right? Now, he's talking about people died in darkness, and then you have a coffin right here. You have a coffin right freaking here. Talking about he died in darkness. Then we have what? The eternal flame. You had the eternal flame right here. So everlasting light. All right, so now we know that we're dealing with something masonry when you're dealing with the light. You're dealing with the grave. Now mind you, this is Congo Square. All right, now I'm going to show you Benjamin Banneker, because you know he had a direct relationship with George Washington. All right, so I'll show you Benjamin Banneker's picture. But when you go to the grave marker of Benjamin Banneker, it says he has a marble obelisk or a tekken, and it says near here, and this is in Maryland, but it says near here lies the grave, lies in this unmarked grave the remains of Benjamin Banneker. Notice, and I'm gonna show you the picture, it says near here, meaning the body or the marker that they have for Benjamin Banneker is not the death place of Benjamin Banneker. It's just a marker. His body is not there in Maryland. All right? It's a known fact that he came here with Washington, he laid out Philly, and he laid out DC, but his body is not there. All right? Now let's get into this. When you see this right here in Freemasonry, you see this in the York Rite degree, and when you see it in the York Rite side, when you see it in the Royal Arch, this is the 7th degree. This is where a lot of people go through the Red House and they get their holy royal name, the real word in Freemasonry. The legend is this, that when once you become a Mason, they want you to go through this particular house right here so you can get the password for this degree, or the 7th degree, because some lodges down south don't open up on the 3rd. You have to know this, history, or this degree, allegedly. Now, in this degree, the 7th degree of the Holy Royal Arch, you will see that the candidate has to come through 3 levels of 3 curtains, 3 little different rooms. So as he comes into the first room and knocks on the door, they say, what's the password? All right, so I know y'all about to be mad. All the Masons about to be mad, but I'm about to crack you. Because you don't know what you're dealing with. This is a suppression of your history that shows you that the black man and woman is God. Now watch this. Now, what's the password? The password to get into the first veil is I am that I am. All right? So once he come in, he said, okay, well, before you can pass to the second veil, the curtain behind me, let me show you the sign. And the sign is taking a right.